Hello, and welcome to another episode of In Just 1 Minute or So. Today we're going to talk about psychological hygiene, daily habits for a healthier mind. So think about your physical hygiene for a moment. You brush your teeth, you shower, you trim your nails. You don't debate whether to do these things, you just do them because they protect your health. Now, here's the question. What are you doing every day to protect your psychological health? That's where psychological hygiene comes in. So, what is it? Well, it is a set of small, intentional daily practices to help maintain and protect your mental health. Just like physical hygiene keeps your body healthy, psychological hygiene helps you keep your mind resilient, balanced, and functional, especially under stress. So, why don't we pay as much attention to it? Well, sometimes it's because of a stigma, cultural expectations, because we think out of sight, out of mind, and often a lack of practical know-how. So let's change that. There are 5 foundations of psychological hygiene. First, healthy thinking. Second, nurturing your body. Third, supporting your spirit. 4, building a strong support network. And 5th, seeking help when needed. So let's walk through each of these quickly, clearly, and with real life examples. The first one is healthy thinking. And it starts with creating distance from your thoughts. That is, instead of reacting automatically, pause and ask, what actually happened? Just the fact. What am I telling myself? How do I feel? How I am reacting? Here's an example. Your boss gives you critical feedback. Instead of thinking, I'm terrible at this job, treat that thought like a hypothesis, not a fact. Another thing that you can do is be a scientist. What's the evidence? What are the assumptions? What's another explanation? A helpful tool here is to use the ABCDE model. A for adversity, so your boss gave your feedback, right? The bad one. B, belief. Oh, I'm not good at this job. That's your thought. C, consequences. You feel embarrassed and anxious about this feedback that you received and your thoughts that came out of it. D, disputation. So, this is one project. I have had positive feedback before, so this is a learning lesson. And E, energization. You feel more confident now and more motivated to improve. That shift alone can change how you feel and how you perform. Let's go to the second foundation, nurture your body. Your brain is part of your body. So psychological hygiene includes, in this case, regular physical activity, adequate sleep, and the balanced nutrition. You don't need perfection, just consistency. Even small changes improve mood, focus, and resilience. The third foundation is support your spirit. This is about intentional awareness and appreciation. So practices like mindful breathing, gratitude, even writing a journal or writing a gratitude letter. Mindfulness means that you're paying attention on purpose in the present moment and without judgment. You're enjoying a food, for instance, really savoring it without being distracted by your phone or watching TV, for instance. Gratitude strengthens emotional regulation, boosts your self-esteem, and helps you cope with stress. The fourth foundation is building a strong support network. So, social support is one of the most effective buffers against stress. Your support can look like an emotional support. It could be some practical help, or it could be sharing perspectives or information. Your strong networks include friends, families, colleagues that you trust, and mentors. You don't need many, just a few reliable connections. The fifth foundation is seeking help when needed. So, psychological hygiene also means knowing when to ask for help. That might mean talking to a trusted friend, visiting a family doctor, accessing workplace or healthcare resources. So, seeking help is not weakness, it's maintenance. Now, all this sounds great, but all starts also with a habit. So, let's make it a habit. And let's choose one to start with. To make a psychological hygiene habit stick, you need to use the habit loop. That is, you have a cue, you have a trigger, for instance, finishing work. You have a routine, a short practice like journaling, breathing, reframing your thoughts. And a reward, feeling calmer, clearer, and more grounded. So, in fact, what you're doing is, when you finish work, you will be journaling or taking breaths or reframing your thoughts. So that will give you the feeling of being calmer, clearer, more grounded. You post this plan somewhere visible to remind yourself and try it for a week. Adjust the reward if needed. When the habit starts to feel good on its own, you have built then something powerful. So, in summary, just as we practice physical hygiene to protect our bodies, we must practice psychological hygiene to protect our minds. Small daily habits with a big long-term impact. And we can start today. Alright, and that's all for today. Thank you for joining and see you in the next episode.